There we go. What up? What up? It's Hey Tony TV in the building, y'all. How you doing today?
Good. How about you?
Excellent. The connection is crystal clear. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I like. That's what's
You
up.
know, AT&T. Shout out to AT&T. Even though they stressed me out today, I don't know what they had going on with their service, but they got it fixed.
We got it fixed. We're all good to go. First of all, how you been doing, man? Is everything good?
I've been good. I've been working hard.
Absolutely. I see you, man. You just taking over social media right now. Got to clap it up for yourself, y'all. You got to clap it up. You're doing your thing out there and definitely making noise in the neighborhood. So I got to get down. I said, I saw you on social media. I was like, look, this dude is mad funny. I looked at your videos. I said, okay, like button. All right, I scroll up to the next video. Like button. I scroll up to the next video. Like button. I said, this dude is straight up hilarious. So I got to get down to the bottom of it. Got to learn a little bit more about who you are. Introduce yourself to the crowd. So let everyone know who you are for the people that might not know you.
So I'm Antonio, but I go by Hey Tony TV. I'm your favorite administrator, your favorite girl in high school, your favorite coach, your favorite customer at Target, Macy's, whatever place you worked in retail. And I'm funny as hell.
Absolutely. I couldn't wait to do this interview with you today. So let's talk about your journey as a comedian so far. So like, what was the inspiration behind wanting to become a comedian? Let's start there, the roots.
Well, I always wanted to be an entertainer. I didn't I didn't know that I was going to become a comedian. Let me just say that. But I've always had like a funny personality. I just kind of hit under being shy. But after being under my grandfather, who was like a radio personality, and then I had an uncle who was a DJ, so I would sit and watch him mix and master things, and do, go to these places with him or my granddad and watch them do this and see how much joy they bring to people. I was like, okay,
right.
Entertainer. Like, people would always ask me what do I want to be when I grow up, and I just say an entertainer. Like, I ain't fit to be no police officer. I damn sure ain't trying to be no firefighter or no mailman, none of that. I want to be an entertainer. I want to be in this business.
Right.
So my freshman year of college, I kind of just introduced I decided to let go of the shy shell that I've always had, because I was the type of person where you had to know me to know how funny I was.
Right. Okay.
In college, I was like, okay, let me let go of this, because I'm going to be meeting new people, and I just want people to know Antonio and like him for who he is. Somebody was like, yo, you are so funny. Like, you should try to take comedy as a career. And I was like, whatever. Like, y'all just saying that just to try to be my friend. But I listened, and I'm so glad I did listen, because, woo.
We are too. I mean, and that's how it normally happens. I think people with the most talent don't always end up wanting to do what they're talented at. You know, it's like, yeah, I don't know. I ain't trying to be that guy. And then people are like, no, look, you funny. You need to try it. And then you just get out that comfort zone and you go do it. And then you start to make that progress quicker than the next person. You know, I think that's dope that you made it out of that comfort zone, because the way you just explained it was, you know, you kind of shy and you just went for it. You know what I'm saying? So how was that transition of breaking that fear, you know, and becoming comfortable with being uncomfortable?
Well, I'll say this. I always thought, as goofy as I am and as big as my personality is and was at that time, I always thought being like that goofy was just weird. Like, at that time, being called weird was like an insult. So I was like, okay, well, I don't want to go into high school with everyone thinking I'm like this weirdo, this strange kid that just is like, what the hell is wrong with him? So I just kind of hid it under being shy until you got to know me. So when I got to college and I let go of that, it felt refreshing, and it felt so much better to know that people actually like me because I'm funny and because I'm goofy and weird. And I don't even take weird as an insult anymore. To me, it's a compliment. If somebody calls me weird, I'm like, tell me something I don't know.
I can't help but laugh at the comments, because every time someone comments, I'm hearing you. I'm hearing you every time I see the comment. It's hilarious.
Every single time.
So now that's kind of like your trademark now. But then again, it's so funny because I think we all can relate to that administrator that sounds just like that. Like
Mhm.
you're very accurate with your version of an administrator, you know, and I think that's so cool because maybe not every grade, but in somebody's lifetime, when it comes to going to public schools, we can relate to that administrator that you become.
Right.
And you hit it on the note every single time. So it brings me to my question: who was this administrator that influenced you and inspired you? Who are you replicating at this point? I'm curious.
Definitely my high school administrator, Miss Battle and Miss Royster, because I would hear stories about. I didn't have Miss Royster as an administrator, but my family had her, my cousins, my brothers. Um, so I
Hmm.
would always hear stories about this lady, and I would see her from time to time going to like basketball games or going to school, and she would be out there regulating the traffic and all of that stuff. But I had my own, and her name was Miss Battle. And
Okay.
whew, I was a handful. I was one of those students that, in high school, you're just trying to figure out where you fit in and who you want to be around. And at that time, I was one of those people that was like, okay, well, I want to hang around all the badass kids because I was
Hmm.
bad. I felt like being bad is how you get your notoriety, your popularity.
True.
I would always sit in the administrator's office. I would always get sent out of class. And then she would see me skipping. She would catch me skipping. She eventually got tired of me.
So
But
she saw you in the hall so many times that she would just yell at you and it just stuck
yeah,
with you.
yes. And I'm a very observant person. Like, one thing I do is observe, and I always keep and take notes. And
Mm.
so when I created this character, I was like, okay, everything that I've witnessed this woman do, or I've heard about the previous principal do, I'm going to embody this in this character. And that's
Hmm.
how it kind of came about. I didn't know that almost all across the world, the same administrator is in like 1,000 different schools.
Right. That's amazing to me. So is Quarter Brick High a real place? Let's start
No,
there.
hell
It's
no.
not.
You,
I was like, who go their schools
think
Quarter Brick High?
America, they're going to name a school Quarter Brick High.
That is hilarious. So what made you come up with the name Quarter Brick High?
I just I'm so used to like watching In Living Color, like the Wayans brothers and a lot of like black comedians, and
Hmm.
I see how sometimes when they create their own little world or their own little universe, they always give the school or the town or something like a crazy name. So
Right.
how can I have this school stand out from literally every school? Just give it a crazy ass name that nobody would ever expect. And then
Right.
Quarter Brick High just came up to my mind, and I was like, okay, well, we're gonna see how this pans out. And everybody was
So
an alumni or student at Quarter Brick High, so it worked out.
so I'm sorry. In your mind, paint a picture for us. What kind of environment or school district would Brick High be?
Quarter Brick High would be that high school that's in the hood. Like if you walk out and look to your left, you see the projects or the trap house. Um, it is definitely a black school, but with white students or a mixed race of students, but predominantly black.
Mm.
Um, kind of, I wouldn't say run down. I'd say a little old, just a little old.
With
Um,
some bricks, some real bricks.
yeah, you know, one of those, because that's the kind of school I went to before we transferred to our newer school that was in the nice white suburbs.
Mm.
My high school was smack dab right in the middle of the hood. Like if somebody rode past our school blasting trap music, the windows would rattle. So
Yeah, yeah. That's it. That's in the hood.
so I'm used to that, and I was like, okay, well, this is what I'm used to. How about I create it? And that's what I kind of see Quarter Brick High as. It's like one of those schools that just is like slack, like right in the middle of the hood, and
Hmm.
somebody ride past, thumping some Jeezy at the highest volume, the classroom windows are gonna rattle.
Absolutely. So that makes me think, you're taking me back to school now. So like when I was in middle school, a popular book series was the Blueford series.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of the kids that wasn't really into reading and things of that nature, when they had to read, they went and got a Blueford series book because it kind of took them back to it felt like a movie you were reading, you know. And so in that book series, you know, it was a school in the book what makes me think about Quarter Brick High. So if you had to write a book or a quick story,
Mm.
just on a fly, just real quick on a fly, just make me a quick story about a tale from Quarter Brick High.
Okay. A tale from Quarter Brick High. Let's see. The head principal is retiring, and the assistant principal is becoming the new principal of Quarter Brick High. So she's trying to clean up everything that the existing principal did not do. Um,
Okay.
that's make the school a better place, eliminate bullying and all of that good stuff. But you know, when you have a school in the hood, you can take the students out the hood, but you can't take the hood out the students
Mm-hmm.
at all. Trust me,
Right.
I was one of them.
Yeah. So basically, you know, we got this hero, so to speak, that want to save the students. And
Mm-hmm.
the students, and they just got the hood in them. They're bringing the hood with them to school, and you know, you got this job, and now I see this administrator in the hallway, and that's you, and you yelling at a student in the cafeteria. What's the first thing you see?
Where are you supposed to be? You know, they love that question. Where are you supposed to be?
Yeah.
Like, you know, if I'm in the cafeteria, well, no, I can't say that because we had 4 lunches and I was at every
Hmm.
lunch every day.
So you made it to every lunch, and you skipped class.
I sure did. I sure
Yeah, that's a real student right there. That's what I'm talking about. We always at lunch, but class we all have to make a rain check. You know what I'm saying? We'll
I
come back to class later.
give me a hall pass. You don't expect me to come back on time. You know, they used to try to give us like a time limit, like, well, you got 5 minutes, 10 minutes to go to the bathroom. I'm coming back to class when I want to come to class. If my
Right.
homeboys is in fourth lunch and I have first lunch, I'm going to chill with them in fourth lunch. And I used to get
Exactly.
work and get sent out of class. And
You
then I
know, it's funny. It's funny because I haven't really thought about like, you know, public school in a while. You know what I'm saying? Middle school, high school. I haven't thought about that in a while. So you making me think about times where I remember that we every school got this. That one student that comes to school every day, but is never in the classroom ever. Like you can catch them every time you go on a bathroom break. Every time you just leave the class, you can catch this
you're not
student,
them
but
in.
you never will find them in class.
Mm-mm.
Now, at my school, we had a student like that. I ain't gonna say no names, okay?
Don't put nobody on blast.
I ain't gonna put nobody on blast, but I will say my graduating year, our class was so small, like as far as graduating students,
Mm-hmm.
that guy that never went to class graduated.
And
And when he walked across the stage, everyone was like, how? He never was in class.
it's amazing how that, like, what really amazes me, what really surprised me, and I'm not good at math at all, and I've always been honest about that. Like, math was always my weakest subject in school, but it would be the dudes that never showed up to class or skipped class or would come to class and be asleep.
Yeah,
They would come during the test and they make a higher grade than me. And I'm like,
that's crazy. But some of those kids be smart though. Like you can't put it past them. They be
it really
smart.
surprises me. I'm like, you ain't been
Yeah,
come to school on Monday and I ain't seen you till today, which is Friday, and we take this test and you get an 85 and I'm sitting over here with a 52 and
yeah.
I'm trying to figure out how to do this shit all week.
Yeah, that's real. That's real. So what's one of the as let's backtrack a little bit because you know we could talk about school all day.
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk about what are some of the most challenging things you've had to encounter so far with you pursuing your career.
Um, oof, that's a good one. I would say trying to stay consistent. I think consistency is definitely key, but sometimes, like, you know, you see these influencers or content creators, they can stay consistent and then they kind of lose their flame because they trying to switch up their formula, which I don't
Hmm.
mind. I like to prove all the time that I can switch up my formula and still be out here killing it.
Right,
But you know, staying consistent is probably the hardest thing because it's like, all right, I feel like I done did every scenario in high school. What else can I do? So I really
right.
sit down and think for like hours on what kind of scenario from high school that I haven't done.
And that's the hard part about doing skits is because you got to come up with one quick, like the next day. It's like, okay, I just dropped that one yesterday. People want more content today. The skits are a little bit different because you got to keep that content coming. You
Exactly.
know, so when you're in a process of thinking about making a new skit, what are some of the things? Like, what's your process? What do you think?
So before I ever like dive into it, I write my ideas down. I usually go improv whenever I'm filming. It's like straight improv. It's not a script. There's no one telling me what to say, how to say it, because I film, edit, and do everything myself. Um,
Wow.
I write it down, and then I establish, okay, is this skit going to be taking place in a school setting, or can it take place in the office, which is right here in my house, or do I need to like go to a gym somewhere? And then once I do that, I hit up my plugs because I got my
Mm-hmm.
in the schools and stuff.
I know being an admin and everything. Of course, you got your plugs. I got you.
And then from there, I just film it, and it's just like everything just comes natural right off the top.
Absolutely. That's awesome, man. And that's the creative process that you just can't teach. So I think sometimes some of that's just talent that you have to have in there, mixed in there with a
Mhm.
strong critical thinking skills. That you learn in school, critical thinking, because
Yes.
you never know what you're gonna do, and that improv is the part you can't teach.
Yeah.
That's on the fly.
Just got to come like right then and there. Like I'll finish with one scene and then start on the next scene, and then I'll just whatever comes to my brain at the time, I just let it out. And that's
Bro,
how I
I'm
don't
so sorry. Let me tell you my funniest video. I gotta tell you, it was the lockdown one when the schools was locked down, and the administrator going out there shaking the door. It's crazy. It's funny because you took my mind and made me think about a different perspective that I never thought about the entire time I was in school. Like, they'd be like, all right, it's locked down. Everyone got to be underneath the desk or however the school was and you at, and the doors is locked, and then you just waiting. You wait, and then you hear that little pull on the door. Now, I've
yes.
never cared enough to think about who was pulling on the door and what they looked like doing it until I saw that video. And so when I saw the video, I was like, they probably really do be doing that.
I listen, one thing about me, I'm a visualizer. I see things, and when I see it, I bring it to life. And so
Hmm.
I did that skit. I was like, okay, it's been done plenty of times, but you see people just kind of like walk up to the door and shake the door and
Hmm.
walk away from it. How can I
Yeah,
take my formula and make it entirely different than what's already been done? And
right.
I wanted to have that video just visualize because I'm sure they have so much fun with it, whether they say it or not. I know the administrators are having fun with that because they get to shake
Oh,
us,
yeah.
scare us like we in a lockdown, like somebody coming through the school with a AK, So they get to shake the door and bang on it, and it's
And have
like, all right,
fun.
let me show them how they look on the other side. And surprisingly, it's very accurate. And I
Hmm.
know because I'm in the classroom sitting in a dark ass corner with everybody else.
Right. And so, have you ever had administrators just reach out to you, like in the DMs, and like, look, you had that one right on point, just
Mhm.
laughing? I can only imagine, because if I was a school administrator, I would just be, and I'm not one, I still crack up at your videos. Just being able to see somebody that does what you do and make it funny, as far as the skit goes. So, moving forward in the future, where do you see yourself in the next 5 years?
In the next 5 years, I definitely want to have my own production company. I am inspired by the comedy, just black art in general, and
Hmm.
time when like black comedy was comedy, like it was on TVs. We had movies left and right, um,
Hmm.
and you just don't see that anymore. You got a few shows, you got a few movies that might pop out, but my issue with comedy now is like people feel like they need to rely on the black traumatic experience. Um,
Right.
these
And
shows,
that's true.
and I don't. I want my art and I want my comedy to be an escape from reality. Like when you watch the Parkers or My Wife and Kids,
Hmm.
it's like real life, but they encounter things that we would never do in real life that make it funny.
Yeah.
Do a traumatic experience or have a episode about it it's like about 20 seconds long, and then it goes back to the comedic value of the show.
Mm-hmm.
And that you don't really get that. And I just want to bring something to my people that feels like an escape from reality. And that's what I try to do with my videos. It's like, you would like if with my customer, you're not
Yeah,
gonna run into that type of customer, but you ain't gonna have a customer with that laugh.
that's
Okay.
true.
That's
Yeah.
an escape from reality. Like, people be like, oh my gosh, that laugh. Like, this is something that happens to me, but I ain't never had nobody walk up to me with that laugh. So,
Mm-hmm.
I want to move away from just having everything that is considered black to be traumatic. We need to have something that's just genuinely funny, movies that are just off the wall, crazy, funny as hell, and don't rely on any of that stuff.
Absolutely. I agree with you 100%. I feel like, just like you feel, a lot of entertainment nowadays is missing that. The traumatic experience is real. It needs to be talked about. But a
Mm-hmm.
lot of times people need that escape, you
Yeah.
know. And matter of fact, now that you brought that up, in today's society, I found out, a lot of people don't even watch the news no more.
Mm-hmm.
They just turn away from the television because it's just so much negativity on it. We need more of that positive energy in the world. And so I do appreciate you for being a light and doing that for people, because I know when I watch your videos, I'm weak. I'm sending them to my wife, I'm sending them to people, and they just all laughing. It's good vibes. And to me, that's why people get on social media.
Mm-hmm.
They want that break from reality sometimes. And
Right.
so keep doing what you're doing, because you definitely is providing an outlet for people to really just laugh. Because one thing about school that I miss the most is the jokes, the good times with people, that energy, that vibe.
Mm-hmm.
One person tell a joke, the whole class is rolling. You don't see that in the real world when school is out.
Right.
Every now and then you do, but I mean, it's work. It's about getting this money. But when you really in that position where you can really just enjoy school, man, you really don't understand how much that really means until it's gone. You
Exactly.
know, and,
Exactly.
and people used to tell us all the time we in school, hey, when you get older, you ain't gonna be able to do this. You're gonna have to get you a job. You're gonna have to do blah blah blah, and you're gonna have to earn your living. And that just go in one ear, out the other ear, because we in school, we having fun.
And then now that we older and years out of school, it's like I miss them days.
Exactly. Even the schedule.
Failing the test. That's it. That was the only issue we ever had to worry about.
Right. I think that's amazing. So I'm big on legacy here on King Legend Talk. So what do you want your legacy to be when people bring up your name and they think about you?
I want my legacy to be, oh my gosh, this guy was so creative. He was so different, out of the box. I want people to appreciate my art as well as the person, which is why sometimes I stray away from, the Quarter Brick High series to show my fans the real Antonio, because I'm just as goofy as I am in these videos.
Yeah,
Um, but I want people to know that I'm always humble. I'm going to remain humble, and I'm not a stingy person or an ungrateful person. And with my production company, I want to help produce other comedians and people who want to jump into this thing and kind of do it the way I did it. So I definitely want my legacy to be to inspire other comedians to just sometimes take risk and go a different route than what's already been done.
absolutely. And that's super dope. I'm going to go ahead and we're going to end this interview, but I got one question for the administrator. Okay. So I need you to get in your element real quick, get in your administrative personality. Okay. And I need you to give some advice to that badass kid that's thinking about dropping out of school, and he just ain't got his priorities straight. I need you to get him straight. All
Okay.
right. So what would you say?
Now, why would you drop out of school? Now, why would you do that? I mean, what are you gonna do with your life if you drop out of school? You can't work at Wendy's forever, baby. That ain't gonna pay your bills forever, is it? Hold on, let me put the is it? Mm-mm. Stay in school and get your high school diploma and then go to college and get your degree. Stay in school. Uh-huh.
Well, look, everyone, that was Hey Tony TV. Listen, I appreciate you so much for stopping by the King Legend Talk. It was an amazing conversation we just had. I'm definitely looking forward to seeing more of your content. I just want to see you progress. I just want to see you go through the stratosphere. I know
Thank
you got it in you. I know you're gonna make it big. You know, just continue to stay consistent, and everything is gonna work out. People love you for real. People
thank
do. And so, just from me to you, thank you for everything that you're doing, you know, on social media, and keep up the good work, man.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you for your time, and thank you to everybody that was watching. I've been trying to read y'all comments, but y'all so fast at typing. I don't see how y'all do it.
Absolutely. Listen, so if it's okay with you, just for the people, you know, we'll take some questions for them to ask you, if that's fine with you.
Okay.
I don't want to take up too much of your time, so this is on you. All right. So we're gonna take some questions, y'all. So if you're in the chat, go ahead and put in some questions. And so we got the first one up here for you. What was the name of the museum you recorded the Quarterbrick High Senior Trip 21?
That was the North Carolina Museum of History, downtown Raleigh. It's free. Check it out. The crazy thing about it is when I went into that museum, the reception. I don't want to call her receptionist. She told me her job title, but it's really long.
Mm-hmm.
She was like, "I know who you are," and I was like, "Oh shit, they about to kick us out." And she was like, "I want to say that I was an administrator before I got this job, and I love you. Everybody loves you. If you want, you can come here and film anytime you want." And I was like, "Oh, okay, sure, all right. Maybe
Got the
I'm."
plug. That's plug one, y'all. He just let y'all know the plug. And so when did you start TikTok?
I started. So the funny thing about TikTok was that when I was on the come up, they approached me. I want to say in 2019, like after they merged with Musically, and wanted me to be a part, and I did it, but I just didn't understand it. It just didn't make sense to me, so I left it alone.
Mm-hmm.
But once I saw it gaining momentum, and my friend pushed me and pushed me and pushed me to get back on TikTok, I started. I want to say back in May of 2020, and then I came up with the girl in high school character in July of 2020.
Got you. Okay. And what's your zodiac sign?
I'm a Cancer, baby. July 12th. Water.
July 12th. That's a Cancer. So look, everyone, I appreciate y'all for tapping in. Hey, Tony TV, appreciate you again for being here and your time. I hope you have a great day. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you. You too.